you're ready there. In 1984, Steve Jobs approached this man on the left of the photograph. His name is John Scully. He was the CEO of Pepsi-Cola. Steve said to him, "John, do you want to keep selling sugar water all your life, or do you want to change the world?" John was suitably impressed. He joined Apple Computers, and he later fired Steve Jobs. But Steve Jobs' words proved to be prophetic when in 2013, Apple superseded Coca-Cola as being the most valuable brand in the world. Some of you are saying, so what? The truth is, Coca-Cola has always been top of the pile ever since these things have been measured. Now, the guys who are behind measuring brands are Interbrand. They measure brands on three basic things: how much cash they're making, how well they are influencing people in the marketplace, and thirdly, how well they're competing in the marketplace they're competing in. Now, Coca-Cola aren't competing with Apple, but they do have things to learn, seeing as Google in 2015 also superseded Coca-Cola. And at this stage, Coca-Cola are also losing brand equity, meaning that they are losing value. I am one of these people who tends to ponder these things. I am curious about brands, and I want to know what is the future. What does it imply? So I'm going to ask you to join me on a very potted and not very serious history of brands as they roll through the ages. Take it away there, Philip. So at the start of the 20th century, it's all mine. Brands are differentiating themselves with very practical needs. Camel, not one single case of throat irritation due to smoking. Thank you, Camel. But by the 1950s, the psychologists are being employed in Madison Avenue, thanks to Don Draper. And you know you want it. Brands are now appealing to us on much more lofty goals about reflecting our own dreams and our own inherent innate desires, keeping up with the Joneses. By the 1980s, I'm all yours. Brands have gone tribal. Brands like MTV, they want you to share on a cultural, I don't know what you would say, sort of cesspool, really. And that takes us up to the noughties. Brands have gotten a bit slutty, your place or mine, in which we're exchanging with brands at a much more sort of equal level, and they are jumping to every whim we have, every like button. Ooh, got to change. This decade drags on a bit. So I want to talk about Marshall McLuhan. Marshall McLuhan has a phrase which is, "The medium is the message." It's also been published in a very nice book called "The Medium is the Massage." Marshall McLuhan was also Canadian, that's another fact. And I first came across him in Woody Allen's film Annie Hall. Anyway, what Marshall McLuhan is getting at is that the medium and the message are not mutually exclusive. They are somehow bound, that the message is codified by the medium. If you can follow the quote there, that would be handy. You can't really get away without talking about the bloody internet. It's been around for the last 15 million years, but we're still fascinated by it. However, it's one of the biggest cultural influences we've had. Yet the ways that we're interacting with the internet is changing all the time. You can't get through a week in this world without Kickstarter launching some campaign so you can print 3D underwear from Australia to Portugal. Or stick your phone on the end of a stick. Or fly your phone into your neighbour's garden. Or prance around your living room. So I would like to suggest that the next generation of brands is much more about push my buttons, in which brands that can present themselves as almost interfaces, that can respond extremely rapidly and quickly to what consumers want and need, they are the ones that are going to be top of the pile. And you cannot have this conversation without talking about the bloody Internet of Things. Who in this room has not used this phrase to either impress their mates or stupefy their parents into silence? Yeah, but everyone's saying, when is the internet thing's going to happen? But it's already here when you think about it. When you look at all these brands, that Uber really are the world's largest taxi company, that Airbnb are the largest accommodation provider, owned, and whatever, and Skype are one of the largest phone companies. Who would have thought it about 5 years ago? Because the truth is, innately as a species, we like to push buttons, we like to push things and have people respond. We'd like to have a little monkey butler arrive with half a glass of beer. And the brands that we're interested in these days are the brands that help us change our world. They're the brands that help us to take action. They're the ones that make us smarter, the ones that make us more attractive, the ones that make us more socially engaged. Because the future for brands like Coca-Cola will simply be like this. That was our planet, if you get the reference. This has just been run by apes for the last decades, and we didn't know anything about it, whatever happened there. It's Charlton Heston down there in the corner, if you're confused. But Marshall McLuhan also said this. He said, all media exists to invest our lives with artificial perception and arbitrary values. What does that mean? It means it's all sugared water. It's all bullshit. And it means that brands, the whole lot of it, you can just forget it all. If you really want to make a change in this world, I would say put down your bottle of sugared water, put down your mobile phone, find something you care about and get behind it. Thank you very much.